Hey the internet, this is Lock. This week I've played WildStar so much I had a dream about it this morning. You'll be pleased to know I can't really tell you about it because I don't really remember it, but the colour palette is unmistakable. Now, while that one game may be haunting my dreams, another is occupying my every waking moment. Since we last spoke, it was officially announced that Blade & Soul was coming to the US and EU regions via NCSoft, and there was much rejoicing. Now, it's very fashionable to be cynical about these things, but honestly that's so very tiresome, and life is too short. So instead we're going to take a look at some of the reasons Blade & Soul looks really fun. First, as it always seems to be, we're going to talk about combat, our primary means of interaction with the world. There's high mobility, there's sprinting, there's double jumping, gliding, all manner of things, active counters, rock, paper, scissors, skills based around those. It all sounds great for PvP and for keeping PvE fun and engaging as we go around the world just fighting things. You need to engage your brain in that way, especially when many NPCs have access to the same abilities that players do. The game itself has been out for a while, which means hopefully a lot of major kinks in the game and the design have been ironed out. It means that more features have been added. These days we're all playing games before they're ready for release and burning out on them before they ever have a chance to become realized. I remember we used to say the worst time to play an MMO was at release, and now we don't seem to be able to get in early enough. I imagine when the closed beta test goes live towards the end of the year, it'll be refreshing to many to dive straight into a full-featured and mature game. By being free to play from day one, you're guaranteed a hefty influx of players and no messing about with the speculation. Honestly, anything to avoid the endless nonsense discussions on forums. But in all seriousness, being able to plan for the free-to-play business model before release means it's more likely to avoid some of the pitfalls associated with it. Some things that it's doing really well. There's a weapon upgrading system within the game. It's a major way that you progress your character. You also have costume that goes along with that. You know, linking your weapon to your character progression, I think, is a neat idea. Freeing up your character's appearance is great, in my opinion, especially for free-to-play. There's a massive backlog of costumes ready to go, ready to just take off the rack. You know, being able to show off with what you've managed to acquire is cool. You know, when people can see you and go, oh, he's got that thing, he or she have got that thing, that's really good. But playing dress up is fun. Dressing up is fun, and now we never have to choose between the two. And I think it's a really great compromise. There's a system in the game, I mentioned earlier about mobility and combat. There's a system called wind walking, and it adds a really joyful element to movement, to moving around the world, and an extra dimension to combat when you can, approach from above. If you're not sure what I mean, it'll remind a shameful Wuxia noob like me of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon when they float around in the trees and that, which is cool. The fact that it overlaps into being really an essential part of combat is wonderfully elegant design. It goes a long way to making the world feel like a fully realized space, like a 3D playground for you to enjoy. Speaking of which, possibly my favourite thing at the moment is the dragon streams. These are areas where the verticality problem with gliding, it's a solution to that. It's a decent solution to being able to implement verticality into the areas, and they look amazing. It just looks fun. It's obviously a bit of a novelty, but for the first few weeks while we're exploring the new zones, it's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of the unique animations and stuff, seeing what they've come up with. Also, in terms of dragon streams, I might have a prize for the first person to use a wordplay on this for a live show title or for their own stream. Whatever happens, I totally called it, so we can just draw a line. under that now. Speaking of live streams, there's a well-established esports scene in East Asia, and potential means the potential for that in the new markets, in the North American and European markets, means we can expect a strong PvP community very early. It also means that from the first time that we get into the game, like, all those features are going to be there, the things that you need to show the game at its best, to make the matches exciting, you know. And I think that these things, you know, it allows players to really make a concerted effort to create an online community presence. There have been games in the past that have, you know, they've had like ideas. They've thought, oh, maybe we could do something with esports, but the scene's kind of died by the time they've managed to implement the features necessary to that. And the fact that it's present from the start in Blade & Soul means you're creating a kind of feedback loop. You know, you create the interest, and then you have the features to then drive that interest. The game's free to play, so you've got really low barrier to entry, which means hopefully sustained activity from a visible community. It means the scene can really grow instead of shrinking. And the thing with online game communities is it tends to be games that are growing tend to grow faster and faster. That's just, you know, it's human nature, isn't it? People are attracted to what's successful. So fingers crossed. It's always good when things are successful like this. So yeah, there's a few things to look forward to in Blade & Soul. Obviously, I've not played the game. I've not played the game, but I'm excited to try it. Especially the open PvP looks really fun, which I've just realised I didn't even mention. So maybe another time. So now we begin the agonising wait for beta, when we'll find out if this game is worth our time. It'll be interesting to gauge the interest in it, considering the industry is by and large, you know, moving towards a more sandboxy, world-building UGC type game. But that's another topic for another time. For now, perhaps you'd like to leave a comment using the word hype below, and you can give us a like if you're a fan of positivity. If you think that, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of optimism to go along with our healthy skepticism, and subscribe for all manner of things from wonderful people. And I'll see you really soon. Thanks. Bye.